Malachy, I know maybe not the result you would have wanted, but a performance that was there and a good test for you as well in here in St Chinner's Park in Clones today.
Yeah, there's no doubt it was a good competitive game, and that's what we wanted. And I suppose you always want to get the victory as well. But I suppose there's a lot of changes from last week, and there's a lot of lads, fellas making their debut today. There's a fair bit of changing and shuffling about and so on. So I suppose you expect mistakes and things like that. But yeah, there's areas of the game we'd be happy with. There's other things that we need to improve on, and that's always the way it is. But it's just making sure we're in a tough division this year, so we have to make sure we get the improvements fairly quick. Yeah,
and maybe those changes and shuffling about added to the concession of a very early goal as well. In fairness, you did make up for that goal, but it's kind of been the deciding score at the end of the game.
That's right, yeah. A goal so early always makes sort of playing catch up after that. And it was disappointing one to score. No, we did. We came back into the game well, but we also, in fairness to Down, I suppose they had maybe 3 or 4 good goal chances. That's one thing that we would be disappointed with. But it's just a matter of looking at I suppose the video of it and seeing exactly what went wrong on those occasions and trying to eradicate it. And I suppose that's what the McKenna Cup's all about. It's about looking for new players, but it's also getting boys game time and getting them up to speed. And we'd be hoping that come the end of the month when we're going down to Tyrone that we'll be fairly well on the way to being up to speed.
You mentioned there they had a couple of goal chances, but in fairness, Enda Duffy, confidence wasn't dented maybe with the concession of that early goal. He stood up to the rest of them.
No, he did. He made a couple of 3 or 4 great saves there, and only for him it could have been worse, but so no, Enda did his job, but unfortunately just would be a wee bit concerned about how they got through that far. But again, that's something that we need to look at, and as I say, you have to look at the fact that we had different players in and fellas getting used to playing different positions. So it's one of them things that happen, but it's an area we need to tighten on.
Still all to play for, obviously. Wednesday night going into it as well against Cavan. All teams now have won in the group too, so it's kind of going to come down maybe to wins and scoring averages and one thing and another.
That's right, it is. It leaves it exciting, and there's a lot of years, after 2 games you'd either be through or out of it, whereas this time everyone's still got a chance of going through. So it does. It leaves it interesting. From our own point of view, it's just a case of making sure that we get a good performance. It's looking at players again. It's getting that balance between looking at players, giving fellas game time and trying to get a good performance as well. So we'll not be diverting from the course we sort of set out for ourselves, but we'd be hoping to get a good competitive performance and try to get the win.
Competitive, of course, when it's a local derby as well, and the next door neighbours Cavan.
That's right, yeah, you always expect that, and so especially I suppose now with everybody on equal points, Cavan the exact same position as ourselves. If they win the game, they'll have a good chance of going through. So no, it's all to play for, and no doubt it'll be a good sharp affair.
Good man, thanks Malachy.
No bother.
Now we're joined here by today's man of the match, and I know the result maybe not in your favour, but in fairness to you, a very early goal conceded. I know you mightn't have been able to do much to stop it, but you certainly then stepped up to the other opportunities that Down got as well, and somehow got your hand to a few of them.
Yeah, it was just nice to keep them couple of chances out. Obviously the result didn't go our way, but it was nice to sort of hopefully try and keep ourselves in the game, and unfortunately we just couldn't. Down pushed on, and we're a bit strong in the second half for us, but hopefully we've another game Wednesday night hopefully to rectify that, and hopefully the next weekend we'll be in the semi-final of the McKenna Cup.
Now it's the second run out for you as well with the county jersey on you after the debut last weekend against the University of Ulster Jordanstown, and only second time out and you're picking up accolades like man of the match as well.
Yeah, it's definitely nice, and I suppose that's what the McKenna Cup's for, is to give players a chance, especially with Rory off the college. It's good to get in and get a few games, and just to make a couple of saves. It helps to build your own confidence as well going forward. If you're called upon that you're up to the task.
Now it is a learning curve, obviously, and we were talking to Malachy there, and he did make mention, obviously, a few changes and a bit of shuffling about with the panel and players and that. And I suppose it takes a little while maybe for the team to bed in and get used to each other and that as well. But there was periods that game today where you could see certain things was working for you.
Oh, definitely, and especially in just probably the first 15 minutes of the second half, we come on very strong. And I looked at that stage we got a point up that we're going to push on. but probably as Malik was saying, like in the last 2 weekends, in particular last weekend against Jordantown, there was a lot of good play. There's probably the guts of 25, 26 players have got a run in the last 2 games, so there's a lot of players getting game time, and that can only stand us in good stead for in the coming months ahead as we push towards the National League.
Yeah, of course, and obviously then this local derby to look forward to on Wednesday night as well, a midweek game under lights in Kingspan Breffni Park. I'm sure you look forward to that.
It definitely will be looking forward to it, as I woke myself in Cavan, so there will be a good atmosphere, but especially with all 4 teams on 2 points, all teams capable of going through to the next round, so it will be a winner takes all. And we know going over there that will probably be a hostile enough atmosphere. It'll be a big crowd, but that's the sort of games that you live to play for, is that sort of game, and hopefully we'll come out the right side in the result.
I suppose finally as well, being a goalkeeper and maybe trying to push Rory Beggan out of that number 1 position in the Monaghan team, not an easy job at the moment, but I suppose if you're there, you'll try your best to do it.
Oh, definitely, and no point denying, Rory in the last 2 years, he's the top 2 or 3 goalkeepers in the country, and even from just coming into the panel, getting to walk alongside him, if it comes to be down the line that Rory's in goals, it can only further my own development as a player, walking alongside the likes of the management team here, and walk alongside Rory. You can learn a lot from him.
Well, listen, well done indeed, man of the match for today's game.
That's great, John. Thanks very much.